Hello, I'm Chris from the FPL Dude and welcome to the first FPL video for the 2021-2022 season. In today's video I'm going to build my first draft now to target game week 1, so I'm going to discuss about the fixtures, I'm going to discuss the prices, and I am going to discuss about tons of players to target. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, don't be afraid to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and without further ado, let's begin. But to build that first draft team, guys, I would first of all need to take a look at those upcoming fixtures, and there are two types of fixtures. There are defensive fixtures and there are attacking fixtures. First of all, I will start by looking at those defensive fixtures. I am going to the fantasyfootballfix.com page, as I do believe that this is a very good page that provides us very good stats and fixtures difficulty and a lot of tools for the FPL season. I believe that you could potentially check it out. Everton does look as the team that is having the easiest defense now. They play against Southampton at home, then it's Leeds, that's a bit tougher one, but then it's Brighton, Burnley, Aston Villa and Norwich, and then around game week 7 it's when it gets tough. So I could potentially go and take a look at some Everton defenders to begin with. I'm going to go to that Everton team. I just need to find it here. The first defender they have that has earned most points out of all defenders is KANE. He has earned 127 points last season, but this is not the guy that I'm looking at. I actually want KANE in my team, even though he earned 7 points less. I believe that he played around 300 or 400 minutes less than KANE because he was injured in few games, as I do believe that KANE has very good clean sheet potential because they do have very good defensive upcoming fixtures, but this is very attacking minded fullback as well that provides very good attacking return potential. And when we take a look at him, for the last couple of seasons, he has scored 4 goals, 5 assists. 2 years ago, 8 assists. 1 year ago, last season, he scored 9 assists as well, even though he missed out on 5 or 6 fixtures, so he could potentially have gotten even more than that. This is the main reason I want Digne in my team, and I believe that I am going to start him as well. The next team that I'm going to target, so I'm not going to go for any other Everton defenders or goalkeeper, something similar. The next team that I'm going to target is Brighton. I do believe that they do have very good defense as well as very good defensive fixtures to target. So this Brighton team that I'm going to target now have Dunk, have White, Veltman, Webster, Burn, Lamptey. These are all good players that you could potentially go and target. Now there is one player in particular that has caught my eye, and that is Lamptey, costs 4.5 millions. Now I'm not going to go for him to be my starter, but I'm going to go for him to be my first bench replacement, as I do believe that he does have very good attacking potential, but as well as defensive potential. I just do not want to waste that starting spot on a Brighton defender, as I do not trust Brighton and that much, to be honest. The next team that is having very good fixtures are Arsenal. They play against Brentford away, then it's Chelsea and City. Then their run of good fixtures begins, so you could potentially target Arsenal players after game week 3 for the Norwich game. That's where you want to bring in Arsenal player for the Burnley, for the Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa game and so on. Even the Tottenham game could potentially end up 0-0, something like that. We do not know what to expect from Tottenham this season. We do not know if KANE is going to start now. So the next team we are going to target defensively perhaps is Leicester, but I do believe that Leicester as well has a bit tough fixtures to begin with. I don't think that they are going to keep it clean against Wolves. They had a terrible end of the season last season. Then it's very difficult to fixture against West Ham. Norwich is the easy one, and Manchester City. So I would like to target Leicester player, but after game week 4, that is. Not right now to begin with. Liverpool, on the other hand, are very good to target right now, as they do have very good fullbacks to go and target. They have 2 particular defenders that I have been looking at now. It's Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold costs 0.5 millions more than Robertson, but I do believe that it is totally worth to go and pay those 0.5 millions, as Alexander-Arnold have been a much more attacking minded player than Robertson. Last season, Robertson started as much more attacking minded because Alexander-Arnold did not play that good at the start of the season, but as the season ends, Alexander-Arnold find his form, so he became that attacking minded fullback, while Robertson was playing balls for a bit more deeper. So I'm going to go for Alexander-Arnold, as I do believe that he does have very good clean sheet potential, especially in those first upcoming fixtures, and I do believe that he does have very good attacking potential as well, because he's very attacking minded fullback that actually likes to deliver tons and tons of balls into the box. And the next team's defense that I'm going to target right now, it is going to be the Manchester United's defense. I believe is good to target as well. They might not have one of those best upcoming fixtures, but I do believe that they are a very strong and elite team that could potentially do good against any opponent. This season they're expected to push high as they did last season as well, so we could potentially go for Shaw, as he has been their most creative and dominant defender they got. The first one is against Leeds, and the second one is Southampton. These two fixtures are where I don't think that Manchester United could potentially keep it clean, but we could potentially expect some attacking returns from their fullbacks, as I do believe that they are going to push very high. Then it's Wolves and Newcastle. These are very good fixtures. Difficulty fixture against West Ham, and a bit better fixtures against Aston Villa and Everton at home. So yes, Shaw is going to be the next player that I'm going to target, guys. I do believe that Shaw does have very good potential to do good. He's very good attacking minded fullback. Last season I believe he was around 4.5 or 5 millions. Now he gets to cost even 5.5 millions, and I totally think that is deserved. That is a price that he actually deserves. Yeah, it's for the next team's defense that I'm going to target now, guys. It is going to be the Watford's defense, as they do play against Aston Villa for the first one, Brighton for the second one. They could potentially keep it clean in both of them. Perhaps not against Aston Villa, but strongly against Brighton. Then it's a difficulty fixture against Tottenham. Then they do have Wolves, Norwich and Newcastle. If Watford perform good, now I do believe that they do have potential to keep it clean. But they do have one player in particular that I have in mind. Let me just open up their team now, that I believe has around better potential than the rest of their defenders to be involved in goal, and that is Femania. He's actually been involved in 4 or 5 goals now for the last season. That is more than any of their other defenders. Now if Watford get to keep it clean, that is good enough for me. If Femania gets to get involved in some attacking return, that is good enough for me, as I don't intend to start him. He is going to be my second or perhaps even third bench replacement. I just forgot about one player from that Brighton team, guys, and that is the goalkeeper, Sanchez. I do believe that DC is going to be my #1 goalkeeper. As for the second goalkeeper, I'm just going to go for a cheap Stella, or not Stella because he's from Brighton. I do need those spots, but Steer could potentially be the goalkeeper for you. 4 millions. He's not a starter, guys, but I think that Sanchez is going to be Brighton's #1 goalkeeper, and his price is just too good. He's expected to get few clean sheet in the first games. He's expected to get some bonus for saves made as well in those tough fixtures, as he's very, very good goalkeeper. So guys, this has been my defense and the goalkeepers. I believe that I'm going to start with Sanchez, Digne, Arnold and Shaw, while I'm going to go for Lamptey as my first bench replacement, Femania potentially second or third bench replacement, and Steer to be my goalkeeper replacement. As for my midfielders now, I will need to change it and take a look at those attacking fixtures now. You can see that few teams has very good attacking fixtures. Perhaps not Chelsea, as we do not know what to expect from Chelsea this season. We do not know what to expect against Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, City and similar. But I do believe that they do have good potential to do good, as they are very, very, very strong team, and have been they even did manage to win the Champions League this last season. So guys, Chelsea are a good team to target no matter their position, but unfortunately I think that I'm going to skip on their players. So I'm just going to go for Everton first now to begin with. Everton does have very good potential to do good. They do have one player in particular that I believe has that best potential to do good, and that is Calvert-Lewin. He costs 8 million this season. I believe that he has been doing wonders for Everton last season and the season before. He has been evolving, he has been developing, he has been improving. This guy, he's only 24 years old, and I do believe that he is only going to continue to improve and to better and better every season. Especially well now, because Everton do have one of those best upcoming fixtures, both defensive wise and offensive wise. So they're going to push high, they're going to potentially score more than 1 goal in so many of these fixtures, and that is probably going to happen through Calvert-Lewin, as he is a penalty taker for this team as well. The next team that I'm going to target is West Ham. They have one player in particular that I have in mind, and that is Antonio. I do believe that he does have very good potential to do good. He cost 7.5 million. Last season he was performing very good. Unfortunately, he was injured in so many occasions, so this guy is to expected to get injured even this season and miss out on some games, but I believe that he is going to be fit and ready to begin the season. We are going to take a closer eye towards the start of the season and so on how he develops, on if he gets injured or something similar, but I believe that he will be fit and ready to play now for game week 1, and I do believe that he does even have very good potential to do good, mainly because they do play against Newcastle, then it's a difficult fixture against Leicester, but it's Crystal Palace, Southampton, Leeds, Brentford and teams like these in their starting fixtures. So I do believe that Antonio does have very good potential to do good. If you want to go for some other attacking minded target from this team, you could potentially even go for Souček, but I do not want this player in my team, as I had him on my bench last season, but he disappointed me week after week. When I had him on my bench, he went in and scored goal. When I started him, he did not impress. So this guy is not going to be featured in my team. I'm just going to go straight to Antonio. As for the next team that I'm going to target, now it is not going to be Arsenal. As I said, you could potentially target Arsenal after game week 3. Wolves could potentially be a good team to target, but I don't think that I'm going to target them either. I'm going to target Brighton, as I do believe that they do have very good players, midfielders and strikers that you could potentially target as well. They have Trossard, as I do believe that he is a fantastic midfielder. He might even be a differential player, as there are so many other midfielders to go for this season. He cost only 6.5 million. He was very consistent and had been performing very good throughout the season, last season, throughout the whole season. Maupay is the next player that I want to go for. Maupay cost 6.5 million. I believe that he has been very underpriced. He did not get to manage to earn so many points last season, but mainly because he did had a fight with a manager and with a team at the beginning of the season. He did lost his penalty spot. He was a penalty taker and he lost that because he did miss out on 1 or 2. It was just some psychological thing going on with him at the beginning of the season that actually affected the whole season for him and the team. I believe that he has solved it out now that he did improve a bit towards the end of the season, so I do believe that he is actually a good player to begin with. The next player now that I'm going to target, it is not going to be any of these strikers team players. I'm going to go for Liverpool players, guys. I'm going to go for 2 Liverpool players. Let me just open up the Liverpool team. I could potentially even discuss some of their players. Now we could potentially go for Alisson. Alisson is a very good goalkeeper, but I believe that he cost a bit too much, and I believe that Liverpool are going to play a bit better defensively this season, so he might not get that bonus for saves made in every occasion. The player that I would like to bring into my team is Salah. I do believe that he has been very good and consistent now for a couple of seasons. Even before he did join Liverpool, I watched tons of Salah play for Roma as well. He has been just a fantastic player now for 5 to 10 years, and I do believe that he's actually going to continue to do good, and he's on penalties for that very good elite Liverpool team as well. As for the next player that I'm going to bring in from this team, it is going to be Jota. I do believe that he's a fantastic player to bring into your team, mainly because Jota is actually very underpriced. He costs only 7.5 million, guys. Trossard was 6.5 million. If Jota gets that starting position, and I believe that he will, because he did play very good last season for Liverpool, he has been performing very good for this Portugal team for the Euro 2020 as well. So this is the main reason I believe that Jota is going to get that starting play. Jota is going to probably do very good for this Liverpool team, especially because they do have very good upcoming fixtures as well, and he's just a very cheap player with elite mentality. The next team that I'm going to target right now It's just going to have to be Manchester United. I believe there is one player in particular that I would like to bring in from that team, but let me just open up their team now. Wan-Bissaka could potentially do good out of their defenders. I forgot to mention that as well. Him and Shaw are expected to do very good. Now Fernandes and Rashford are the two players that I have been thinking about. I believe that Fernandes might just cost a bit too much for me to be able to bring it into my team. I will try to fit him in towards the end of the season, guys, but I'm unsure if I am going to towards the beginning of the season, that is, I'm sorry, but I think that I will not have the budget to actually bring in Fernandes. I will have the budget to bring in Rashford. He has been playing fantastically well for that season as well. He has been developed very good playing for that left winger position. I believe that he does have that guaranteed start in place for them as well. When we take a look at their strikers now, they have Cavani and Martial. You could potentially go for either of them, but I believe that they are not good picks to begin with because they are going to be rotating each other. In some games it is going to be Martial that is going to be playing, in some games it is going to be Cavani, as they did last season. Cavani had 1,364 minutes, Martial had around 1,477 minutes. That is just way too low, and around 2,700 is when you have played, when you're not rotated. Around 2,700, 800 minutes is a good value for a player that seemed to be a guaranteed starter. If you take a Rashford has even 2,970 minutes for his club last season. So I believe that, yeah, Rashford is definitely a very good pick, while Cavani and Martial are not that good to go for. The next team that I'm going to target, that I believe have very good upcoming fixtures and they do have very good players to go for, is going to be Aston Villa. Now guys, take a look at their midfielders and their strikers. Grealish costs only 8 millions, while Watkins is 7.5 millions. Watkins at the beginning of the season did very good with the help of Grealish. Otherwise Watkins was not going to do that good. Then when Grealish was injured, and Grealish was injured for almost half the season, half the end of the season, Watkins' form dropped drastically. Watkins did not perform good for perhaps 7 game weeks or something like that. Then he started to realize that he must take care of the team, and he actually started improving in scoring goals and so on and so on. But their key player, guys, has been Grealish. He is one of those cheap players that has elite mentality. This player could potentially do good, just as Rashford, just as Son is expected to do good, and this guy is much cheaper than them, so I am actually going to go and bring him to my team. And yeah, have you noticed now they have changed the shirts, and they've changed the shirts for Brighton as well. It was much more blue, and this one was just like they did have last season. So yeah, they've changed their clothes. Manchester United as well, the colors a bit. That's fun to see. So guys, Grealish is going to be the last player that I'm going to bring in as a starter. So I'm going to go for 3-4-3 formation. I got 4.5 millions in the budget. Now you could potentially bring in any 4.5 million starter. I have one in mind, and that is Alan. I do believe that he is going to potentially get lots of minutes, lots of start. Now he plays for Everton. Everton are having good fixtures. I believe that Alan is going to be my second bench replacement, and potentially Fembani is going to be my third bench replacement. So this is my team, guys. I'm just going to enter the squad now. Maximum team name, the FPL dudes. So yeah, favorite club, it's Arsenal. I agree to the terms of condition, enter squad. So yes, this is my team now. I'm just going to change in some players and change out some others. Lamptey is going to be my first bench replacement. So yes, this is going to be my team, and I'm going to start with captaining Salah, as I do believe that he does play against Norwich, and Liverpool are going to be able to score more than one goal in that one. So guys, if you thought this video was of any help or it was fun, please do give it thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if that is something you have not done already. When you give this video thumbs up, I believe that it helps me a lot, so please do it. It's very easy for you to do it, but it's going to help my video get promoted. It is going to help my channel to grow. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.